group of police officers that we showed you earlier along this street that we're just right where we are standing right now have retreated next to the Supreme Court along Wabera Street. And right now, they're trying to keep the protesters who have just been marching slowly from making any more gains towards the Supreme Court. They have made a barrier of men there, trying to stop all protesters from there. And as I said, protesters that are down here, who are on Kimathi Street, are trying to make their way also on Kenyatta Avenue. And then a very huge contingent of protesters along near I&M, have also been making their way towards Kenyatta Avenue as well. So the situation as we speak, several protesters are they're throwing stones at the police officers at the moment. The officers right at the corner there trying to run away for their lives as the protesters hurl stones at them at the moment. So the situation is like this, as we can show you right now. Our point of view is behind the protesters along Wabera Street, and there is a tear gas canister. Police officers are on the other side. There is a protester there lying down on the street trying to point at the police officers. I don't know what he's pointing at police officers there. Oh, there's a tear gas canister that just narrowly missed him. But I say police officers are firing at the protesters. That was loud. At protesters there. There is a guy once again. He's sleeping on a thing, holding something, pretending to be a gun there. That's very risky. That's very risky. That's very risky. And as I tell you that, protesters are making another charge towards the officers there. And as I said, we're trying to make sure we are aware of what police officers are doing and not risking ourselves here. Now, the contingent of police officers are opening themselves up for that vehicle that we told you that is making rounds in the city. And whenever that car comes, they're just shooting tear gas canisters at protesters with disregard. Any moment they start making their rounds at the protesters. So whenever tear gas canister goes off, by the way, I hope you can see on your shot, there are some repellents that are kind of dispersed. So you have to be careful about those projectiles because they can easily hit you. As I said, several ambulances we have monitored today making their way, making rescues of several protesters. And protesters are not even touching the ambulances. They're not interfering with them. And as I said, Wabera Street is interesting. There is a protester we were saying holding a stick. There is a protester we were telling you about holding a stick. There is one of the projectiles that were thrown at the protester here. He's showing it to us here. It looks almost like a bullet though. Not sure what it is, but it was fired towards the protesters. It's hot. It's hot. It's one of the part of the canisters that have been fired by police officers today. This is what we are getting from the street from one of the protesters who have been gathering this for us, as well as you can see everything that the police have been collecting in the streets right now. This is part of what has been collected. This is a cartridge that is collected by the protesters as well. So that's pretty hot. That has just been fired by the protesters. Now there's another group of protesters that is making their way up from down there. The group that was at Nation Center is making its way up here. As you can see, these are some of the things that we have seen from protesters. So our producer is pretty safety cautious there. He's the one you had there. We'll try and seek shelter here. And try and give you the shot as well. We're taking shelter at Sandlam to try and give you the shot as well, but equally stay safe. Give me that cartridge as well. This is one of the shells from the cartridges you have seen, and the water cannon is now firing here in the city. This is one of the cartridges we have gotten from the protesters as well. So the water cannon has begun firing at protesters again. So we are hiding ourselves here to try and keep ourselves safe, but also bring you the shots as we can get them. If Rodney can push back here to show you what is happening on Kenyatta Avenue as well, to give you a wider angle of what is happening on Kenyatta Avenue. A lot of protesters there. And I can also confirm to you, we have received photos and videos. There is a water cannon. That is very vicious. It's firing towards the protesters who are at the Bank of India. And that stings. That water stings as well. So this is a group of protesters that was at the Nini. There it is, making its way, and then a police officer firing a tear gas cannon as well, a canister as well at the protesters. And both cars have come out. These are the vehicles we had showed you moments earlier. Both of them have come out. Both vehicles have come out to fire at protesters. Be careful, Rodney. Be careful. They're firing this side. So these are the police vehicles we had shown you earlier, trying to repel protesters as well. trying to push back the protesters. The protesters that are on Wabera Street, next to Macmillan Library, next to JQuat as well. These are the guys that are being pushed back. The water cannons are out. As I said, we were trying to find the best angle, and in the process, we found the best view as well. So for the two, square. So as I said, there's a group of protesters at I&M, next to I&M. There's a group of protesters that were making their way from Nation Center, and this group has been halted. The water cannons are out. They're trying to fire at protesters that are on that side, hurling stones at the police officers. So it's been a pretty scary day for both. And there it is, once again, the water cannon firing at the protesters who are on Wabera Street. It's firing at everyone, of protesters that are on Wabera Street. Some of them are trying to dodge the whole shooting as well. So, as I said, it's been a pretty difficult day for both police and protesters as well. Police have been firing tear gas canisters at the protesters, but now the protesters have come. They're just next here, right here at JQuat Towers. These protesters are the ones that were on Mwindi Street. The water cannons are being fired at them to try and repel them, to push them back, towards that I&M Bank area. And then there's this group of protesters here that are between on Wabera Street. There are the police officers firing tear gas canisters at them, as we said. Those are the vehicles we were telling you about. The vehicles that are making round between the CBD, and the tear gas canister has been fired back at the police officers. There, he's right in front of the vehicle, the water cannon here, and he's just throwing stones right in front of it. There is another one. A very huge rock has been thrown at the police officer's vehicle here. And as I said, it's a very huge flaction point at the moment, and the situation looks very bad. It looks very bad for both protesters. The water cannons are retreating now. Our police has just fired a tear gas canister to try and control the crowd that is just hurling stones back at the police officers. As I said, we are in a safe location at the moment. We don't know how safe this will be in the next few minutes because a huge crowd is making its way down. As you can see, a very huge crowd of protesters is making its way down, running towards Wabera Street and Jamia Mosque. And then police officers are here. They have now begun making their way towards the protesters and pushing them back. Goodness me. One water cannon has been caught near protesters. One motorcycle guy has been hit. And the protester is just right in front of the car there. Another water cannon is being pushed right there at JQuat area, trying to push back the protesters. He's firing even at the police officers. Then there's that group of protesters up there as well, who the police are trying to control as well. So there's that group up there at Kenyatta Avenue, near I&M Bank. There's a group next to Bank of India. And then the group that was down here has made its way back up through Nation Center that is now staring at officers near Wabera Street right now. So where we are at, we have an eye-bird's view of the situation at the moment. Officers at I&M, protesters at I&M, water cannon along that road as well, trying to fire the protesters. A huge battalion of officers here trying to control the group from going downwards, and they're being repelled upwards as well. And the protesters are hurling stones at the police officers as well. There is the water cannon again being unleashed at the protesters. The other two have retreated. The other two water cannons have retreated back. They're not firing at the protesters. A huge group of them is gathered right there next to I&M Bank. I hope our shot is giving you a good view of that as well. So you can clearly see the two groups of police officers here, a huge contingent of them, and then the large group of protesters that are right there at the JQuat Towers at the moment, and they are trying to push themselves downwards towards Imenti House. As we had already told you, there's another group of police officers at Imenti House who are trying to push back the protesters as well. So the two groups might end up meeting at some point. We'll wait and see. There you go. They are shouting, "We are many." The protesters are shouting, "We are many." The protesters are shouting, "We are many." We're keeping ourselves safe, just to give you the shot, but also stay safe. Police are hurling tear gas at them, but the protesters are shouting, "We are many, we are many, we are many."
finding ourselves because the situation has gotten a bit tense at the moment. He's firing a lot of tear gas right now.
I've been told to go off. Yeah, turn off the mic.